Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today is the very last day of the Deep Depths event, and we've also got the Max Monday event currently ongoing as well, so we're going to be doing both of those events and seeing if we can get any shinies of anything that's spawning during the event, and also of the Dynamax Caterpie. So we've got a Dynamax Caterpie just up here, so we're going to start heading over towards that first and seeing what we can find. Now, of course, the Deep Depths event finishes on tonight at 8 PM your local time, so not much more time left to try and get yourself a shiny Clauncher if you are still hunting for that shiny. It is, of course, shiny boosted. So we have also got our primal Groudon ready to go, and there is a Heatran here, so we could attempt a Heatran solo live on stream. That might be an interesting proposition. Let me know in the comments if you do want to see that. So we'll get rid of that water type task there. I'll try and solely focus on the ones that give us the encounters. So the first Caterpie of the evening, we'll just ready straight up. So I'm not too sure what the CP is to look out for on Caterpie, but this first one should give us a good indication. So this should be super easy to take down with Charizard. Annoyingly, we do have to Dynamax, so that is rather annoying. Best buddy Dynamax Charizard. I think this is a hundo one, hence why it's been best buddied. It is taken out in one hit. A lot easier than last week's new Dynamax, which is of course Dynamax Chansey. Very much a tank of a Pokemon to try and defeat. If ever you attempted to take one down on gym battles, Chansey or Blissey is really annoying in that respect. 226 is the CP of the first Caterpie of the Max Monday event. So shall we attempt this solo on the Heatran? Heatran solo? We might as well. 140 particles left to collect, so but I am going to jump in on this Heatran and see if we can take this down live on stream. So this will be a pretty cool challenge to try and do. Now, of course, Groudon, we need that healed. And we don't want to get our finger in the way of any max revives when we do come around to reviving. This is going to be a very awesome challenge to do on the live stream. So we'll jump straight in. Let's try and attempt this Heatran solo raid with using a primal best buddy Groudon. So he is up to level 51, this Groudon is, due to that Groudon boost. Hey Godzilla, how are you? You've joined me as we are attempting a Heatran solo. This is going to be a very interesting solo if we manage to do it. Now we are going to have to revive as well, of course, with this, but Heatran is using Iron Head, which is potentially a decent move to go up against because it's not doing much damage. Make sure if you are watching to get involved in the comments down below. Thank you very much, Godzilla, for your comments. Keep them coming in as we attempt this Heatran solo. Now, Heatran, of course, is using Mud Slap as its fast move. It's the quickest fast move to charge up Heatran's charge move, and Groudon's charge move. And Groudon's charge move is, of course, Precipice Blades, which is its legacy move set. And we are on 235 seconds. And you can see the amount of damage it's doing. Each and every Precipice Blades we are getting off, we are doing sizable damage to this Heatran, but we are going to have to revive very, very shortly. And of course, when we do faint out, as with all raid battles, the raid boss regains 5% of its health. So you will see it jump back up, especially if you've just gone into the yellow. Happy birthday. Thanks so much for joining the stream during your birthday. That is very, very cool. Thank you very much for that. Now, a little glitch there. Bit of a white screen, which ate away some vital seconds. But still jumping back in and trying to take this down as a solo. So this is a 93 IV Groudon that we're using, Primal Groudon. Of course, shiny because of a black colouring. Very, very cool shinies when we are both Primal, both Kyogre and Groudon go that black colour. Very, very cool shinies indeed. Do you have a shiny Charizard? Yeah. I've got loads of shiny Charizards because it's had multiple community days. "150 seconds, which is the halfway mark, and we have fainted out again. And we will hit that max revive and jump straight back in. So again, you'll see 5% added to the Heatran's health, so it will jump up a little bit. 130 seconds left on the clock. And this is going to be very, very close. This is not an easy solo by any stretch of imagination. Like I say, we have got best buddy boost on this Groudon, meaning it goes up another level. So instead of being maxed out to level 50, this one is maxed out to level 51 because of that best buddy boost. And it's a 93, it's a 14, 14, 14 shiny. It's a lucky shiny, which is obviously cheaper to power up. 95 seconds left on the clock. If we can get into a red sometime soon, we stand a chance with this. There it is. We're into a red, and hopefully one more revive, and we can hopefully get somewhere near doing this. "72 seconds left on the clock. Just over the 70 mark now, and we need to get off some Precipice Blades if we are going to stand a chance of doing this. 60 seconds now. And of course, we all know when it gets around to that 10 seconds mark, it does get a little bit sketchy with it if your attacks actually go through or not. Now, what we don't want is a ruck of Iron Heads hitting our Primal Groudon and knocking out and needing to revive again. That would not be ideal at this stage. It's literally a race to a finish as we speak. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Potentially one more Precipice Blades and that'll be it. Can we get there before Heatran knocks us out? Iron Head coming in from Heatran. And 18 seconds left on the clock. We have soloed a Heatran live on stream. That is an awesome way to start the stream. Really, really happy about that. We actually soloed one just before we went live. YouTube video is now up on my channel. So if you want to give that a like, then please do. Super, super happy to solo this one. Now, we didn't actually catch the first one. So I'm hoping that this Heatran solo, we actually do catch this and we can save it as a bit of a memento. And there it is, first ball. So 26-34, weather boosted. I don't think that's particularly good. But we have got our Heatran solo, so very, very happy to get that one solo in the bag, and we will tag it in the memento tag that we have. Very, very happy about that. So an awesome way to start the stream. So let's go ahead and carry on with the Max Monday. Of course, we've only got half an hour left of Caterpie Max Monday, so we need to find some Dynamax stops. So I think there's a few down there, so we'll head over and head down to these and see if we can get them in time. Now, like we were saying, it's the last day as well of the Deep Depths event, meaning, of course, Shiny Clauncher, a very, very cool shiny, will go back to full odds after this event. And the tasks that you want to try and keep an eye out for with Clauncher, if you are hunting that shiny down, you want catch 5 water type. That will give you an encounter with either Frillish or Clauncher. So that is one or the other. So you just have to take a risk with that one to see if you do get a Clauncher. But the one that's guaranteed Clauncher is Hatch and Egg. So if you see a Hatch and Egg with the event border around it, that one is guaranteed to be Clauncher. So let's just catch as we head down. Super happy to be able to get that Heatran done on the live stream. Very, very difficult solo, and probably a lot harder if we didn't have that best buddy boost. Just making a little bit of difference, that extra level of the best buddy boost. But it is definitely not an easy solo to do by any stretch of the imagination. Probably up there as a hardest solo, hardest legendary solo, up there with perhaps Moltres. Of course, a Kanto version of Moltres that is soloable, but again, you need the right weather conditions. We had that just with it being clear weather, meaning ground types and fire types are boosted. So although Heatran was boosted himself, our Primal Groudon was boosted as well, which made the difference. I don't think you could do it in non-boosted weather conditions, and that catch 5 water parts is annoyingly Frillish this time. Cheers for a shout out. It could have been my mic's just gone off. It might have died of battery. Hopefully you can hear me now. Just let me know in the comments down below. But if it starts flashing again below, I will disconnect the external mic. It might want charging up. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. Hey Rev, how are you? Thanks so much for dropping in, bro. We've actually just soloed a Heatran live on stream, which was an epic way to start the stream. And we are just going to start heading down towards some Dynamax Caterpie. Of course, only just been released today, Dynamax Caterpie. So let's clear out some of this storage. We've got a clear out tag set up, and we'll keep the extra small, and we'll get rid of everything else. My Clauncher has returned, my shiny Clauncher. Very, very cool shiny. So I've disconnected the microphone because it was just flashing again. I think it has died of battery, so hopefully you can still hear me. Audio quality might be a little bit worse now, but we can hopefully still plough through this. Cheers, thank you. So we have picked up a Catch 5 water type from one of the stops. So that could be a Clauncher or it could be Frillish. We'll have to wait and see on that. So what I was saying before when the mic was muted is that this event has actually been quite a nice event due to the spawns in the wild. Of course, we've got Nickit, which is a brand new spawn or brand new Pokemon added to the game, and it was rumoured that Nickit was actually just going to be locked behind eggs, but we did change that and made it in the wild as well, so that is a very, very nice inclusion. And then of course most of the other Pokemon in the wild have very, very nice shinies. Murkrow going to that dark purpley pink colour. Of course, Clauncher, the shiny boosted one of the event, going to that lovely reddy orangey colour. And then also you've got the likes of Sneasel, which is also perma boosted, 1 in 64 for Sneasel, so hopefully you managed to find a shiny one of that already. And of course Clamperl, another really nice shiny, and again perma boosted, 1 in 64 for Clamperl. I've never had a decent Nickit, to be honest. I don't think I've got a decent one yet so far this week. I'm hoping to try and catch a decent one before the event finishes. But I haven't got one that I could say is worth evolving, which is really annoying. I'd love to have a good one to evolve. But I'm not too keen on the evolution of it. I must say the little moustache it has and the massive eyebrows does sort of put me off the evolution. It does look a little bit weird in that respect. So we have got a few Dynamax down here. At least one anyway where we are. Sometimes there's two here, there is two. So we might be able to just do these and then start heading down to potentially another few down at the bottom. So let's jump in this one first and we'll go in with our Charizard. So we soloed a Heatran live on stream. Now we're about to solo a Caterpie, which is going to be a lot harder than that Heatran. So just bear with me on this one. It's going to take some courage, some determination, some hard work, and a lot of fire moves from this Charizard to take us down. So just bear with me, this is going to be a long, tedious battle. Many Charizards are going to be lost in the fight against this cat. Oh no, wait, it's done. So Caterpie's out. We've done Caterpie. The first one, or the second one of the evening, we started this stream with a Caterpie. That was a tough Caterpie, yeah. That was a very, very tough Caterpie. It was rightfully said. It was a very tough Caterpie. So caught first ball, and this one is a 232 CP, I believe it was. There it is. And it's not too bad, it's a 89 IV, missing 5 off the attack, so not ideal. But again, when are we ever going to max out and use a Dynamax Caterpie? I don't think anytime soon. So again, we'll jump into this next one. And of course, the evolution of Caterpie is of course Butterfree, and that does have a Gigantamax. So Gigantamax Butterfree will get released on the game at some point. So it isn't really worth going mad on these Dynamax Caterpies. I don't think we're going to be any use anyway, unless there is a Dynamax or a Gigantamax that is weak to bug, and potentially Butterfree could play a part, but I don't think that's going to really be the situation. Can't see that being anywhere near a situation where you need to rush into maxing out any Caterpies or evolving them into Butterfrees. Maybe you want to do one for the decks, but other than that, it is mainly just doing them for the sakes of it. And of course, potentially you might get a very, very nice shiny. So let's see if this one is. No shiny, 238 though, so better than the 232, and we know how good the 232 was. It was an 89 IV, missing 5 off the attack though. This one, hopefully better. You can only hope. It has that attack stat, and it does have the attack stat, but it loses it in the HP. So we actually end up with worse IVs than the first one, or should I say the one we've just done. And instead we actually end up with worse IVs overall, but more attack. So a little bit disappointing there. So still chasing a better Caterpie for our collection, just so we have a decent one to evolve. Don't want to try and evolve rubbish ones. But of course, Caterpie is also a nice one as well if you are keeping stuff saved for the evolution hour of the spotlight hour that comes around every few weeks. Then, of course, Caterpie is only 12 candy to evolve, so could be a good idea to collect the Dynamax Caterpies as this week goes by and save all rubbish ones to evolve during that evolution XP, during that spotlight hour. So it's 6:39, we're going to start heading over to another few Caterpies if we can find them. We have 510 of our max particles left today. So we could hopefully do 2 more if we can find them. Now, of course, some of these Dynamax that we've done during this hour might change back to being a Caterpie afterwards. So that's also a way that we could do some more if we can't find any down here. But we'll have a look, see what we can find. So what tasks have we got? We've got defeat 2 Go Rocket Grunts. I don't want to do that. Let's clear that out. And let's start spinning some more stops. Catch 7 Pokemon, again, not really interested in that. We want to try and make the most of the last few hours of the Deep Depths event, gaining all those event tasks. And of course it is the Clauncher that we are wanting more than anything. So let's spin this stop across here and see what we get. And catch 5 dark types again. So that's probably going to reward us with another Carvanha, which I'm not too disappointed about. Carvanha does have a Mega Evolution yet to be released, Mega Sharpedo. But it is a very, very nice shiny Carvanha. So it's always worth trying to do a few of those tasks just to see if you get a decent one, ready for when that Mega Evolution comes out. Shiny Corfish, let's go. We've got our first shiny of the live stream. We've got a shiny Corfish, which is an awesome looking shiny. And we've never ever evolved a shiny Corfish before. So this one hopefully is good. Not really. 1-star shiny Corfish, but still a shiny Corfish nonetheless. Very, very nice shiny. And we will have to see which is our best Corfish when the event finishes. Our best shiny Corfish, and evolve that. First shiny of the live stream is a Corfish, so not even a shiny boosted Pokemon. It's not perma boosted, it is full odds, 1 in 512 for Corfish. let me know in the comments below, how did you get on with Mega Absol Raid Day? Of course, it was that yesterday. So let me know in the comments how you managed to get on. Did you just do your free raid passes? Did you do it at all? Of course, Mega Absol has been around for quite some time now. But of course, yesterday saw it have the move update of Brutal Swing, which meant it risen to number 1 in the Dark rankings, in terms of DPS, that is. So let me know if you managed to do it. Another shiny, we've got a shiny Sneasel, let's go. A very, very nice shiny. I remember when shiny Sneasel was first ever released, and I absolutely went mad trying to find it. 1 in 64 odds. And now I've got absolutely loads of them. But shiny Sneasel, the second shiny of our live stream. This time it is a shiny boosted Pokemon in the form of Sneasel, and it's a girl as well. You can tell by the leaf on its head. If it's got a long leaf, then it will be a boy. If it's got a short leaf, then it's a girl. So excellent throw, golden Raz, Pokeball, and we finally caught it. So this is where we have the Hundo Sneasel. No, not a Hundo. Terrible. 20 plus raids, 3 shinies, best IV was a 98. That's really, really good. So congrats on that. It is a very, very cool shiny Absol. Very, very cool. I did 75 Absol raids yesterday. 5 shinies, no hundos. I think the best IV one was around about 91. Terrible IVs all day. But yeah, 75 raids, of course, with Lucky Egg on running throughout. Meant to end up with like 4 million XP yesterday, which is absolutely crazy. I think somebody's just asked what is my rarest Pokemon. I don't really know, to be honest. My rarest Pokemon. I know. It will probably be the Galarian birds, the Zapdos. Galarian, Hundo, Zapdos would probably be the rarest that I've got, because of course Galarian birds are really rare anyway. Only found on the daily adventure incense, which we haven't yet done today. You've just reminded me, we'll do that in a second. But Galarian Zapdos is very, very hard to get and hard to catch when you do find it. And of course, we managed to get a Hundo one. Not only one, we managed to get 2 Hundo Galarian Zapdoses. And when I had my second one, again from a lucky trade, I did post on Twitter, or now X, to see if anybody else in the world has managed to get 2 Hundo Galarian birds. And I don't think anybody else has. Whether that's changed since, of course, that is a possibility. But I was potentially the first one to get 2 Hundo Galarian birds, which would be absolutely insane if that was the case. But it was definitely something that I posted out there on multiple platforms to see if anybody could correct me, and nobody did, so I'm going to claim it. Let's see if we can claim it. But yeah, very, very cool. That's probably the rarest, I would say, in my collection. Be even cooler if it was a shiny, of course. Now 6:46, we have got 2 more Caterpies down here, which is ideal. We can hopefully do those before the 7 o'clock window. So another Carvanha off the Catch 5 Dart types. So again, I urge everybody, if this is your first time watching me or coming visiting my channel, make sure to hit that like, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I would very, very much be appreciated if you do. Street lamps have just turned on, it's getting a little bit dark here. Sorry Rev, I was just reading your comment then and it's disappeared off the screen. So apologies for that. Right, let's delete some of these quests. And we will head over to this first Caterpie. Should be able to reach it from down here. And then we'll do that one afterwards. So let me know in the comments below, what is your most favourite Pokemon, either on Pokemon GO or just Pokemon as a whole, whether it's been released yet or not. What are you looking forward to coming out if it hasn't yet been released? But what is your overall favourite Pokemon? So this will be our fourth. Charmander, Cubchoo. Cubchoo, that is going to be a really, really good one, because Cubchoo is, of course, one that's going to be featured during a research day. So that is going to be a very, very cool one to have. Charmander is, of course, a classic. Probably the one I chose. Well, I chose most fire type starters on the games growing up. Game Boy Color. Well, I did have a Game Boy Black and White back in the day with a see-through case. That was very, very cool. So yeah, the classic old Game Boy Color. My Game Boy Color was green in colour, the console was. But I always used to choose the fire type starters on all the games. I think the only time I didn't was potentially Gen 2, because I think I chose, of course, the fire type starter on Gen 2. Cyndaquil, that's it. I chose Cyndaquil, but of course it wasn't an amazing fire type. It didn't really do it much justice. I think perhaps the best designed one out of Gen 2 was Totodile. That was a very, very cool one. But other than that, I've been fire types all the way throughout all the games. So yeah, Charmander is definitely cool. But yeah, Cubchoo, of course, going to be featured in that event. Very, very terrible one. Hey Trainer Joy, thanks so much for joining. So let's head over to that other Caterpie across there before the timer finishes. We have got a hatch and egg quest, which is guaranteed to be the Clauncher, which is of course a shiny boosted one. It's 1 in 128 for this event, Clauncher, whereas normally it's a full odds 1 in 512, so it's a quarter of the odds to try and get it shiny. And of course it was my most wanted shiny of 2025, and that's before I knew this event was even going to exist. I set myself a target at the start of this year to try and get myself a shiny Clauncher, and we have managed to get one, so very, very happy about that. But it would be cool if we get one live on stream. Of course, 2 shinies already tonight. We've had a Corphish and we have had a Sneasel. So if anybody does, thanks so much for subscribing, really do appreciate that. I've got a few remaining friends, so I've actually got probably 1 or 2 spaces left. Annoyingly, it says I'm maxed out at around about 448, so if you do want to add me, make sure to add that trainer code. Hopefully you can still send your request through and I'll be able to accept that while we're on stream. If you do have any issues, just comment down below. So catch 10 water type isn't going to really give us any encounter, but it's still a nice task to do with all these water types about. In fact, what will it give us? Stardust, so it's not too bad. Now let's get rid of the rocket grunts and spin metal instead. And again, not very good on that one. Let's check what these are before we jump into the Caterpie. Dark types. Let's get rid of that one for now and see what that one is. And again, dark type. So a lot of the dark types quests about today. Hardly any of the water types or hatch an egg. And of course, Purloin is a dark type, so that's going to help us towards that challenge. So let's jump in on the Caterpie. My most favourite Pokemon is this guy right here. So let's go and find him. Of course, Gengar. Gengar is my most favourite Pokemon ever since I started up the old-fashioned Game Boy games. So I had Pikachu, Pokemon Yellow back in the day, which had a Pikachu in front of it. And that was the first Pokemon game I had. And ever since I started that game up back on the old-fashioned Game Boy console, this little guy was on the loading screen, of course, against Nidorino. So Nidorino was battling Gengar, probably a famous scene, a famous GIF nowadays that you can find anywhere when you search it online. And from that moment, I was really, really wanting to get a Gengar and trying to get as many Gengars as I can. And it was my most favourite Pokemon from that moment. It was super, super cool, and he's just absolutely amazing, isn't he? And of course, he was actually due to be the main rival of the game as well. I've got your invite, Trainer Joy. I'll accept you in a moment. Thanks so much for that. So yeah, of course, the rumours are that Clefairy was actually due to be the actual headline of a franchise. Instead of Pikachu, it was due to be Clefairy. And to rival that, I've just realised we're going to be 20 million Stardust, so that's pretty niche. But yeah, to rival the Clefable, which is obviously Clefairy's evolution, it was going to be Gengar, because obviously if you look at a Gengar and look at Clefable, so let's just do that now while I'm describing it. If you look at the shape of Gengar, you can see the spikes on top of its head and its pointy ears. And then if you look at Clefable, it's virtually the same in terms of that aspect. So spikes on top of it, well, hair on top of its head instead of spikes. And then obviously its ears are very similar. So you can see why they were very much described as Gengar living in Clefable's shadow. Of course, Gengar does that. Yeah, so Gengar actually does that. He lives in people's shadow. He follows you around within your shadow. If you watch the anime series, that's what he does. And the whole concept around the first gen was going to be that Clefairy was going to be the one that was the headline of a franchise. It evolved into Clefable, and Clefable had this baddie in respect of Gengar. Now, that of course changed because when we released our first episode, people went mad for Pikachu. So Pikachu, of course, rose to #1 and became the headline of a franchise. It was everywhere to be seen, of course, sold a lot because of Pikachu. And there you go, Trainer Joy, I've accepted you. Hundo Karim as well, very, very cool. I'm loving the avatar. That is a super cool setup you've got there. So yeah, Pikachu just overtook everything due to its popularity. And then they, of course, set up a rivalry between cat and mouse. Of course, Meowth and Pikachu. And you can see the differences as well, or the link between the two of those, because the Pokédex number for Pikachu is of course 25, and the opposite of that is 52, which is Meowth's number. So that's a link between those two. So that's quite a nice little link as well, cat and mouse. So another dark type Pokemon quest is complete, and talking of Meowth, we have an Alolan Meowth as our reward. If you free, can we battle one match? Don't see why not. I mean, I don't do PvP, so you'll absolutely kick me arse. I don't do PvP in the slightest, and you'll be able to see what I'm choosing. But yeah, I don't really do PvP. I can try one match, but I'm going to absolutely get destroyed. I can sense that. Psychic's ready, bro. Right, are you going to send me the invite, or I'll let you send me the invite. I'll let you choose which one, because yeah, I'll let you send me the invite, because I don't know which one you want to do, whether you want to do Great League, Ultra League or Master League. I don't even know what's up for grabs at the moment. Great League is my favourite. Let's go for Great League on. I don't do PvP in the slightest, so you're gonna win. But let's go for it. Cheers, thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. We have seen a lot during this live stream. We've only been live for about 45 minutes, and we've seen about 5 Caterpies now, 5 Dynamax Caterpies. Unfortunately no shinies, but we've done 5 Dynamax Caterpies. We've soloed a Heatran raid, which is a very, very cool solo, using a single primal Groudon. Yes, we had to max survive it a few times, but still, we've soloed a Heatran live on stream on the first attempt as well, which was pretty cool. And of course, we've had 2 shinies as well. We've had a shiny Corphish, and of course, a shiny Sneasel, which is that perma boosted shiny 1 in 64 for Sneasel. And we won't yet use our daily adventure incense, because I'm going to get a invite come through in just a moment for a battle. So we'll do that after the battle invite. So send that whenever you're ready, and I'll accept that battle invite. Yeah, definitely a W stream. Definitely a winning stream, that's for sure. So what is the timing for my stream? So we go live at different times. Sometimes I don't do a Max Monday live stream, so that's of course 6 PM till 7 PM. Sometimes I don't do a Max Monday live stream. Sometimes I can only have enough time to just video it and then upload it later as a normal video. Every Tuesday we always go live for the Spotlight Hour. I'll try to go live tomorrow. I am busy between me finishing work and doing my Spotlight, so we may be a little bit late to that, but I'm hoping we're not late to which we can't go on the live stream, because it is Cutie Fly Spotlight Hour tomorrow, and it's 2 times catch XP, which we are hunting down that XP like mad at the moment. So we don't really want to miss out, but hopefully tomorrow 6 PM till 7 PM we'll be live for Cutie Fly Spotlight Hour. And then we try to go live towards the end of the week, when of course one of the events is on. We've had the Deep Depths event, which is of course what we're currently playing at the moment, the last day of the Deep Depths event. And next week we'll have a new event as well, which we'll try to go live with towards the end of the weekend. But I am going to try and set up more of a consistent format. But unfortunately, with me being a community ambassador, hey Daniel, thank you very much for joining. So with me being a community ambassador for Pokemon Go, I have to host all the events in my local community, which means that sometimes I can't really commit to a timeline on YouTube because I don't know what events Niantic are actually going to put out there until the week before. We don't really get any much prior notice than everyone else, even though we are community ambassadors. We get the news just as quickly as everyone else does. So it does sort of stop me from planning too far ahead in terms of live streams and timings. But hopefully we can sort something out where we go consistently live on a consistent basis. That'll definitely be good going forward. But yeah, for Defo at the moment, Spotlight Hours, we'll be going live, and then we'll be live as well. Got a shiny Sneasel and Clauncher at work today. I've got a shiny Sneasel and Corfish today. Clauncher is a super cool shiny. The Groudon is so sick, bro. Yeah, it's really, really nice Groudon. Primal shiny Groudon. We've just actually used him to take down a Heatran as a solo. It's an awesome, epic challenge. So we've done it live on stream tonight, a solo Heatran raid with this Primal Groudon. And we've also done another one that I've recorded and uploaded, so make sure to go check that out. It is an epic challenge. Already got a shiny Heatran, that is really, really cool. Heatran is actually a really decent fire type, especially with its legacy move, Magma Storm. So that's its legacy charge move. Very, very good fire type in the game. But congrats on that. How many shinies you caught in this event? So let's have a quick look and see. So let's go shiny. Now, if we count the Absol, potentially. Basculin I actually had this morning from the special research going towards the masterwork research, going towards the route of obviously getting a shiny Meloetta. This was actually on page 3 of the masterwork research, a shiny Basculin, which is very, very cool. Don't think it's shiny for everybody, I don't think it's guaranteed, but mine was. It was super cool to have that red striped shiny Basculin, although only a 2-star and nearly the lowest IVs you can have from a task. It is a very cool shiny. So including the 5 Absol, then obviously Clamperl, Clauncher, very cool shiny. Obviously Totodile, let's just skip through those. We've then had 2 more Sneasels, Clamperl, Clauncher again, Frillish, Corfish, Sneasel, and a Clauncher. And then of course Shelder was last week's Spotlight Hour. So we've had quite a lot since return of the event. Hey Dylan, how are you? Thanks so much for dropping in. So yeah, loads of shinies this event, and of course the one I wanted the most was the Clauncher, and we've ended up with 3 of those now. We haven't evolved any yet. I was trying to wait to see if we get any more better IVs before we actually evolve one. But I think so far the best shiny Clauncher I've got, I'll show you in just a second. Let's have a look. So in terms of Clauncher, and of course shiny, like I say, we've had 3 this event so far, and this 457 was from a research task. 466 is a hundo from a research task. So 457 was a really, really nice shiny to get. A 14, 13, 14. Probably not going to get any better than that. Can you add me in the game? Yes, I can definitely try. I'll put my trainer code up. If you can add me via that trainer code, you can hopefully get through. Now I know my friend space is very, very limited, so apologies if it comes through saying it's full, but I will try and clear some space out after the live stream. So we have around about 52 minutes to be precise of the Deep Depths event left to play. Now we're not going to do all that on the live stream, unfortunately. I will be finishing my live stream in around about 10 or 15 minutes. But we have had quite a few shinies this event. And of course 2 tonight, which is really good going. So default has sent a friend request. So I've accepted that. So we are now friends. And anybody who's sending me gifts tonight, by the way, I will sort out and open those. I always go through towards the end of the evening and open gifts and send my gifts out. So don't worry about that. I will get round to opening that this evening. Shiny Clauncher? Nope. Unfortunately not. So perhaps just a little bit too far away from that Pokestop there. But we have already completed the task on that one. Clauncher is a very nice Pokemon to see in the wild so often because I've been wanting it shiny for ages. But trying to catch it is so annoying. It doesn't seem to want to stay in the ball. It is really, really annoying. Nickit. Don't think we've had any decent Nickit. In fact, we'll have a look in a moment and see if we've managed to get any decent ones during this event. Now let's see what task this one is. Make 3 great throws. We'll do that in just a moment. So in terms of Nickit, let's have a quick look and see what we managed to get. So 4-star, unfortunately not. Let's go 3-star. And we've had 7 3-stars in total this event. Are any of these any good, really? Not really, no. So the best one is probably that one. Either that one or that one. They're both the same IVs, but slightly different stat formation. So still not very good in terms of Nickit. So we will use our daily adventure incense and we'll do the live stream until this finishes. Hopefully we can get a glaring bird off it, but let's see if we can. Our first spawn is Moona. It's a nice little spawn. Clauncher underneath the power spot, no shiny. So I don't know if people have been keeping up to date with the news surrounding the new game, the Pokemon Legends ZA, but it has been leaked today that there's going to be 27 new Mega Evolutions added to the game. So that's not just Mega Evolutions that have already existed, they are brand new Mega Evolutions that are going to be added to the current Mega Evolutions that are already out. And some of those Mega Evolutions are going to include the likes of Victory Bell. Victory Bell will get a Mega Evolution for the first time ever, and Excadrill. So Excadrill is also rumoured to have a Mega Evolution, which is going to be insane because Excadrill is a very, very good ground type, and it's probably going to go up there and compete against Primal Groudon as a ground type attacker. It will definitely overtake Mega Garchomp in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a very, very cool inclusion. And Nickit did stay in the ball eventually. So let's just check quickly on the XP. We have around about 200,000 left to go before I've hit my target for today. I'll try and do around about 1.2 million every day. And we're just shy of 1 million XP so far today. Poliwag off the incense. Not the most desirable spawn that I was wanting, but still not a bad one to hit an excellent throw on when it stops moving. So defeat 2 Team Go Rocket Grunts. We don't really want to do that. We want to keep an eye out for his Clauncher tasks really. So we'll get rid of that. Frilly's just annoyingly moving to the side, but we didn't catch it, luckily. Means we can have another go at it. Excellent throw there that time. And it did catch. Ponyta is such a nice, excellent throw to do. Clamperl just being a little bit annoying to throw at while we're walking. Messed up a little bit there. But there is a Clauncher under the gym. Let's just check that after this Nickit. No shiny Clauncher so far on the last day of the event. We'll spin these stops. Ninkada added to the raid bosses probably this last few days or so because of the bug out event starting soon, which is of course why we see the release of Mega Pinsir back on Mega Raids, because of that bug out event. And we will probably do a solo video on Mega Pinsir tomorrow, potentially during, well, perhaps not during the spotlight hour, but potentially afterwards. We can try and find a Mega Pinsir to try and solo. Heatran raid invite. We'll miss on that invite this time round because of the daily adventure incense we've got going on. Try to prioritise the spawns off that. Talking of daily adventure incense, there is a Clauncher. Still no shiny. 5k egg is a Grookey. 585 Grookey. That is not a good Grookey at all. We'll mark that up for evolution. And of course, we only have 45 minutes remaining of this event, which will also see the half egg hatch distance disappear. That is a deep depths event bonus. So those eggs will go back to being the full time of incubation. Huge Clauncher. We spin 3 Pokestops or gyms. So let's go ahead and spin this gym if we can reach it still behind us. And then we'll spin this stop and catch 5 water types. So that is a quest that we want. The potential of a Clauncher. Of course, it can be frillish as well on that task. Try again on this Clauncher. Fur throat off the daily. No shiny, but a very, very nice, excellent throat. So 2 task space, and we have 2 tasks ready to get here. So there's another one. And explore 2 kilometers, not an event one, and defeat 2 Go Rocket Grunts. So again, not one that we want. And thank you very much for, and I'll see you on the next one.